Hello, everybody. Welcome to Behavior Bites. My name is Brad.
And I'm Mike, and we're also joined by our producer Aaron, who's behind the camera.
All right, guys. Hopefully, you guys just watched our episode on expectations. Well, today's video is going to be on expectations versus rules and about how they're kind of a little bit different. Say more about that, Mike.
Yeah, we're going to try a little bit different format for this video. We're going to compare and contrast these two things. Rules and expectations, those are terms that we hear quite a bit in schools. We don't want to get overly caught up on the semantics of it. I prefer expectations. When I hear the word expectations, it kind of conjures up more of this respectful type of dynamic that we have set up versus rules, which has a potential to be contentious.
Yeah, think about it like this. If I have a rule, right, and a kid breaks that rule, I now have to have a consequence for breaking that rule. So it's automatically sort of a contentious situation. If I have expectations for my kids, this is what I want you to do, and you're not able to meet that expectation, then I can build in supports that will help you to get there. Right? I'm helping him to meet that expectation.
It sounds like you're describing something that you've talked about before, and I know you're pretty passionate about, and that's that partnering with kids. I feel like expectations maybe lends itself to that.
Yes, partnering relationships. I beat that drum all of the time. Think about these kids that are consistent rule breakers, right? They've all through elementary school, they're breaking rules all over the place. Now they're 6th, 7th, 8th graders. They're used to breaking rules, getting in trouble, breaking rules, getting in trouble. And now every time they hear the phrase, these are the rules, they automatically have a negative thought that enters their brain, right? Yeah. Out of the gate, they're viewing that situation as negative as opposed to, hey, here's what I would like you to do for me, and I'm going to help you get there if you can't do it right now.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of almost an experiment I did on my own children.
Okay.
When they were younger, we didn't set a curfew. And when my wife and I were talking about that, I was like, okay, so we set is it going to be midnight? What's it going to be? Then we have to have consequence. And it was just weird. Like, you know what? We're not going to set one. We're going to let the kids tell us when they're going to get home. And then we put it on them. That's our expectation is that you're responsible, you're respectful, and just tell us when you're going to get home. Now, we might have said midnight. I got to tell you, most of the time they'd be home by 11 because that's when they told us where they were going to be there. If it was midnight and they got there at 12:05, now we're going to figure out what the consequence was. We kind of handed it over to the kids, let them make some respectful decisions because that was our expectation, and it really worked out really well. At least for McCara, Caden, and Aria, it did.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Listen, this is not just a thought experiment, right? This isn't us just talking about definitions of words. Action plan, right? Actionable practices. Do yourself a favor. Take this to your students. Explain to them. This is what I did all the time when I taught. Explain to them. Look, I don't have a bunch of rules that you have to follow. I do have expectations that I want you to meet. Explain the difference between these two things. This is what I want from you, and this is how I'm going to help you get there. And you will see how much less contention and how much more partnering happens in your classroom culture.
Yeah, I want to add one more bit on it. The rules are inherently rigid.
Yes.
And the expectations, it allows for a little bit of flexibility too.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, guys, take that, go forth, and do good things.